Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 36 of the Geek Perspective, the movie review show. I am your host, Roy, and along with my co host, Tom, we are reviewing Dolemite is My Name. And you might notice that inconspicuously that Derek is not here, and I don't think that was a word I just said. I think I just made up a word. Um,
I wasn't going to say anything.
Derek is not here today, but Tom is. What's going on, Thomas?
Hey, what's going on, Roy? How you doing today? Yeah, Derek is not with us today. Should be back next week. I had something going on. I can't remember what it was. He told us, but my memory is shot.
Yeah, mine's just as bad as yours, so.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Back's a little sore.
Yeah, you pulled your back, huh?
Yeah. Life stuff.
How'd you pull it?
I was at work.
Yeah.
Just wear and tear over the last few weeks, and got to the point where I was like, yeah, I need a day off. So I actually called out yesterday. I was not feeling well. I had sharp pain in my back, ironically.
Oof.
And so I was like, yeah, I better take a day off.
It's tough getting old, man.
It's not easy.
Trust me, I know my knees at the end of every night. I do so much walking at work. Like by the end, I look like an old man the way I'm limping around. Everybody's like, "What's wrong?" I'm just like, "Dude, I'm old." You know what I mean? Like walking 20 miles at work. It's my legs are just they hurt by the end. My feet, it's tough getting old, man. Tough.
It certainly is. So, how was your Black Friday shopping? I know you went shopping.
Good. I mean, I know we talked about it a little last week. I love my TV. It's great. I love my sound bar. Ooh, that's right. I forgot. I was gonna bring up that sound bar to kind of show Rick because I know he wants to know more about him and stuff. So I was gonna show him, but yeah, I'm loving all my purchases. My girlfriend ordered this for me on Black Friday.
Freaking awesome, by the way.
I love it. My favorite of them all, and he's not even my favorite horror character. I know it's your favorite horror character. Mine's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but this one's way cooler than it. And she saw me shooting you guys a text on Black Friday about it being marked down. So when I wasn't looking, she went on and ordered it for me from FYE. So I love it.
That is awesome. Very cool. And I wanted to tell everybody that you and I have been talking. We haven't discussed this, but we're talking about maybe doing a new podcast next year. So we're able to stay tuned for that because we might be having some news some point on starting something new. We're not going to quit this show, but maybe we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. So we'll keep reminding you guys, and it'll be a real podcast, though. It'll be more of audio.
Yes. Yeah. So you won't be seeing us live or on tape delay. Derek worked 14 hours on Black Friday.
Derek tuned in from wherever he is.
Yeah. We have no idea where he's at, what he's doing, but he's messaging in. So
nice to see he's still alive. He's been doing a lot of overtime at work lately. He's going to have a crazy paycheck. And maybe you should buy a computer, Derek.
Yeah. I mean, God, those Chromebooks on freaking Black Friday were so cheap. I mean, they were just on the shelves to grab. I mean, I don't know the exact price, but I think it was just over $200. I mean,
very expensive.
Yep. Yeah, you should get one, Derek. Should get one.
Oh, he's going to Mohegan Sun. That's where he's going today.
Oh, that's right. He was going to Mohegan Sun.
For his birthday or Christmas gift or something.
You can tell how much me and Roy pay attention. We have no idea what's going on with Derek.
He didn't invite us, bastard.
Yeah. I like Mohegan Sun, Derek.
Yeah, right. We should do a show for Mohegan Sun.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
All right, everybody, just so you know, I want everyone to stay informed of what's going on with our show. So like and subscribe to our show. Click that little bell so you stay informed of what's going on and when we release new content. And make sure you comment on this video and tell us what you like because we're about getting ready to review Dolemite.
Is my name.
My name, yes.
Actually, let's not forget. I want to show your new Funko Pop here.
Tom brought something today, and we're going to show you guys this amazing, amazing thing. Go ahead, Tom.
This is Roy's newest addition to his collection. So, Vader. Okay. Nothing special. I mean, you can see the head bobbling because I found this actually out from Roy. Star Wars and Marvel Funkos have to be bobbleheads due to licensing agreements. So that's why that. But, oh, he's going to Pentatonics. Okay. I've heard one of their songs. Have fun. So anyway, this is the really cool part of it. First of its kind. You can see this lightsaber, it lights up and the sound, and then it's got 3 different settings. So that was the lightsaber one.
Badass.
I love the bass. The bass is what makes it for me lighten up like that. I would love if the bass actually changed colors, like you had like a red or a blue on the different settings. And that's the third. It's just a quicker Vader breathing.
It is badass.
It is seriously one of the coolest. I don't collect Star Wars, but I may have to get one of these just because it's so freaking cool.
He's gonna start doing Star Wars. He will.
It's so cool. So cool. So. All right.
And before you do, is it all right if I talk about the first movie real quick?
Please, whatever you want to talk about, please.
The first movie came out in 1975, and it was actually an hour and a half long, which to me seems like a long time for a movie from 75. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But on the IMDb review, they give it a 5.8. And in Amazon, there's actually a description of it. And the description on Amazon Prime says, the legendary classic of the black exploitation genre, Dolemite and his beautiful all-girl army of kung fu killers on the mob and one of the greatest midnight cult films of all time. Now that kind of makes you want to watch a movie, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes.
This is my kind of movie.
Yeah.
On Amazon, you could rent it for $3.99, buy it for $7.99, just for a little bit at a bonus. The genre has it listed as action, adventure, comedy. Nice. So I feel like you might have to watch the original.
I think so. I think I might rent it, on Amazon.
Yep, same here. But we want the new version. So Tom, why don't you take it away, my friend?
All right. So, I forgot about that. I'll get back to that at the end. So we reviewed Dolemite Is My Name, which is a 2019 American biographical comedy or a biopic, which drives me nuts when I hear people on reviews call them biopics. I don't know why. I mean, I know both are acceptable, but I just think it sounds better as biopic. So it was comedy. It was 118 minutes long. It's directed by Craig Brewer. Screenplay by Scott Alexander, and I'm gonna mess this name up, but Larry Karaszewski, Zuski.
Fighting.
What's he asking?
If there were kung fu fighting in the movie, I'm assuming.
We haven't gotten that far yet, Derek. I'm talking about who directed it. So
you would know how the show works. One of the co-hosts, you think he would know what's going on?
Jeez. we'll get back to that, Derek. Eddie Murphy, John Davis, and John Fox were the producers on the film. Davis Entertainment and Netflix are the production companies that brought you this film, and it's distributed by Netflix. The music was by Scott Bomer, cinematography by Eric Spielberg. Billy Fox edited it. So so that's the guys on the guys on the production side of the film. And now the cast. This cast is amazing, guys. It's like normally when we're doing our reviews, like we were just talking about this, I'll pick like the top 2-3 names in the film. Usually they're known. There's some familiarity with them, or at least a passing familiarity. This film is stacked with great actors. So we had Eddie Murphy, of course. Yeah, he plays Rudy Ray Moore, Dolemite, the lead character. Then we have Divine Joy Randolph, who plays the lovely Lady Reed, hilarious. We have Keegan-Michael Key as Jerry Jones, fantastic in the film, fantastic. Got Mike Epps as Jimmy Lynch. Got one of my favorite actors right now, especially comedy actors, Craig Robinson as Ben Taylor.
Funny little story on Craig Robinson, real quick.
Yes, please.
Well, it's not funny, but one of the women I used to work with, her son is a writer for TV, and he actually created a TV series about paranormal investigating. It was on last year, and Craig Robinson was on that show.
Really?
And she came to me, and she told me he was a couple of years ago. He's like, he's gonna be doing this, and I don't know if you guys watching know this, but I'm a paranormal investigator along with Tom and my co-host Derek, and she had asked if he needed to, if he could contact me with some info, which he never did. He didn't need to because he knew what he was doing. But I thought it was kind of cool that her son was doing a show, and it actually came out. It was a pretty decent show. It was a half-hour sitcom about paranormal investigating. It didn't catch on, but Craig Robinson, he makes everything so good.
Oh, he's so funny, man. I mean, from The Office to Brooklyn, not his appearances in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as oh god, what's his character's name? It's so funny, him and Andy Samberg's rapport. Doug Judy in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. To everything he's in, he's the best part of Hot Tub Time Machine. He's just he cracks me up at all. I love his stage show too, where he does the music with the other guy there and the funny songs, and he's just so funny, man. I could watch him all day, every day.
Most definitely.
Craig Robinson plays Ben Taylor. Then we got the Wesley Snipes as D'Urville Martin, which was really cool because you don't see Wesley Snipes in a lot of movies anymore, and we know he's had his legal troubles, and he's a very unique cat, from what I hear. Into some weird religious stuff, and very, very unique guy. So it was cool to see Wesley Snipes, and he was playing D'Urville Martin, who is a real actor in the 70s. He was actually in he has a funny scene in the movie where they approach him to be in the movie, and he's talking about how he's a real actor, a real auteur and stuff, and he's talking about how he's worked with Roman Polanski, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right, you were in Rosemary's Baby. You were the elevator operator," which is, as we know, is a small part, and as we know now, it's sort of it's sort of a racist thing, But yeah, that was his big claim to fame at the time, that he was in a Roman Polanski film. but yeah, so it was cool to see Wesley Snipes, and then we had in some smaller part, but still in the film, we had Chris Rock as Bobby Vale. This was a very small part, but it's always cool to see Chris Rock. Bob Odenkirk, one of my favorites. Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. He was in it as Lawrence Woolner. And then Snoop Dogg making his appearance, which was funny. Kind of reminded me similar to his character in The Beach Bum when we reviewed that. The Beach Bum a few months back. That's sort of not really, just similar feel to the characters. So yeah, Snoop Dogg as Ron. He's a disc jockey, and T.I. as Walter Crane. And there's a lot more. Did you have more to mention, Roy?
Ron Cephas Jones, who played the bum. Did you mention him?
Nope, I did not.
And Luenell, she was also in the movie.
Nice.
Two great ones of women, obviously great actors and actresses. It's just so many. You just can't name them all.
Well, that was it. I mean, you brought those up, and they're great. And it was just like I had so many. I was just like, who do I leave off? Who do I,
right.
You know what I mean? And they're like,
and all the celebrities.
It was good. It was good. Yeah, the cast is just amazing. So this was the production of this dates back all the way to 2003. Was when Eddie Murphy was first trying to develop it, and it was issue after issue, and that's a common theme in Hollywood. I mean, we talked about that last week with The Irishman. How it's like that. I forget the year, but I think they had started in 2006 or 4 or 7 or something, and it didn't start getting made until 2016 or 17. So it's not uncommon for that to happen. But yeah, he tried to get it off the ground in 2003, but nothing came about until 2018. That's when finally they got everything in play, late 2017 into early 2018, and then they got production going on in 2018. So it's been a lot of years in the making. This is Eddie Murphy is a big fan. He's been wanting to do it for a long time. I believe the original he wanted to do it back then, and his brother Charlie Murphy was gonna be involved as well, and he actually dedicated this movie to his brother who passed away 2 years ago, back in 2017. Charlie Murphy, the hilarious, very talented Charlie Murphy. One of my favorite parts of the Chappelle Show was his stories, and like, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap, bitch. And and his Prince story. Oh god, it was such a highlight of. I mean, Chappelle Show was great, but it was Charlie Murphy was a highlight for me. So he ended up dedicating it to him, which I thought was really cool. So the original release of the film was at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 7th, 2019. It was received very well. A lot of acclaim for it. And then it had its limited theatrical release, which is becoming pretty common now. These limited theatrical releases, because of streaming services and stuff. That it's, you still have your big budgets that go in, and it's all about that first weekend where like Endgame and the Joker and stuff, where it's all about that first weekend and breaking the records. But more and more you're seeing on sort of not the big budget films is just a short theatrical release, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, tops. and then gone straight onto a streaming service because they can make just as not much money, or if not more. I mean, so it had its limited release on October 4th, 2019, and then it was released widespread on October 25th. So just exactly 3 weeks later, 21 days later, it was released on Netflix. What do you think about that, Roy? The fact that are you a fan of that, or do you like it better, like a longer theatrical run?
I remember when they first started doing that. Remember back when we were kids, things were in the theater for seemed like a year.
Yes.
Like they were in the theaters forever. Like you waited forever for things to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this has contributed to movie theaters starting to die off, because why go to the movie when it's going to be gone in 2 to 3 weeks and it's going to be out a couple months after that?
Yeah.
So if you can wait 3 months, as opposed to back when we were kids, you waited a year.
Yeah.
Or if not more. Wait the 3 months, for the price it costs for a ticket, you can buy the movie.
Yeah.
You can rent it for a third or a fifth of the price of it would cost you. Rent it for $3.99 as opposed to spending $12.99 for a ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm for it, but also at the same time, I'm not a huge moviegoer. If I was a moviegoer, I'd be against it because it's going to contribute to the end of going to the movies.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I go back and forth on this, and then it's like I guess I fall into the category like there's certain movies I definitely want to see in a theater, like Endgame. You know what I mean? Like I went and saw that in the theater. It's all about the effects, and I think that's I think I think I'm that way with most like superhero and big budget effects movies. You know what I mean? That I'm interested. I'm not always interested in big budget films, but the ones that I am, it's something to be said for still seeing them on the big screen. You know what I mean? With that sound and the and the visual and everything like that. So and I do, and the other genre I like to see in the theaters is horror. I don't know. I just love sitting in a dark theater watching a good horror film. But that said, I think I actually like it for the reasons that you brought up, Roy, and that it's I don't have to wait a year. It was like that, like you said. Even like a movie that tanked back when we were kids, it'd be in the movie theaters for 3 to 6 months, even if it didn't do well. And then it was still another 6 to 12 months before it came out on VHS and then eventually DVD. Actually, I almost skipped over the very popular Laserdisc phase that we lived through, Roy.
I forgot about that too, actually.
What's that?
I forgot about that also.
Yeah, I remember actually in high school, in health class, they had a laser disc and stuff, and I remember and we watch it, and the disc being about that big, and then putting it in, and it was cool because you could rewind, stop, rewind, pull, you do all this cool stuff. But even then, it was like it was new, and then it was like outdated within like 4 months. They were super expensive. It just didn't go. It was just it just didn't go anywhere. What's that?
It never caught on.
Never caught on. Well, the disc, like I said, the discs were like, huge, and they were super expensive. And then it was, and then technology started getting better at just a way more rapid rate, and then we had DVDs and all of that. And they just went. Then now laser discs are sort of a collector's item. You know what I mean? You see them going on, eBay's and Amazon's and stuff for a lot of money because people just collect it. You know what I mean? It just they find value in them. But yeah. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So I think I am a fan because I like the fact that within a month of it coming out, I can see it on a streaming service. You know what I mean? And granted, we have other ways that we can watch that are illegal or bootlegged and whatever. But I'm just talking about legit ways. You know what I mean? And so for me, it kind of depends on the film. in the style of film. But yeah, so back to it. So yeah, again, it was released on Netflix on October 25th, 2019. So just over a month ago on Netflix. It's been very, very, very well received. Very well. Rotten Tomatoes, it was the reviews were 97% positive out of 141 reviews. So, and it had an average of 7.93 out of 10. So almost 8 out of 10, which is great. Absolutely great. Metacritic gave it a 76 out of 100. Oh, I should say, Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. You probably realize that by the 97% and the 8 out of 10. But yes, it is certified fresh. Metacritic gave it a 76 out of 100. And both Time Magazine and the National Board of Review named it a top 10 film of 2019, which I would totally concur with. All the films that I've seen in 2019, it's easily a top 10.
Well, most definitely.
You know, I might even put it in my top 5. I don't know. There's been a lot of good ones. Don't get me wrong. A Star is Born was great. I thought Bohemian Rhapsody was great. There's been some really good films this year. But what's that?
I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody yet.
I loved it. I thought it was a great film. I mean, there were some problems with it, because Queen really helped in the making of it. So, they come out looking great at all times. It seems like, I mean, yeah, they have their troubles and stuff, but it doesn't delve deep into all the problems that they had and stuff. They always come out looking like roses. So that's kind of my only thing, that it's a very sanitized, sort of whitewashed look at their history. But other than that, it's great film, great performances. Star is Born, another one. I mean, there's been a lot of good films this year. But I could easily see it sneaking into my top 5. Was that?
You watched The Star is Born?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
What are you talking about? It's one of the best films of the year, dude.
Please.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nobody. A Star is Born on our channel.
Are you kidding me, dude? Anybody that's a fan of cinema will watch that film. I mean, the performance. I mean, the fact that Bradley Cooper taught himself how to freaking play instruments just so he came across as well, and then the song chart is a top 10 hit on the chart. You're crazy, dude. And it's funny, I never went and saw it, but a guy I worked with was just like, dude, it's so amazing. So I went and saw it because that's when I had
the original is a classic.
What?
The original is a classic. A Star is Born, the original. It's like a classic movie.
But this one's different, I thought.
Is it really?
Yeah. This is
the original.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that was Bradley Cooper.
But I thought it was still A Star is Born though.
I mean, I think it's the same title, but I'm gonna look that up. But I'm pretty sure they're different, dude. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look that up real quick. I
didn't see the original one either. Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about some influences that this movie had. Dolemite.
Yeah, please do.
We'll get back on the subject here. So this movie was crazy. It had some influences for some celebrities. Snoop Dogg, Quentin Tarantino, and of course Eddie Murphy all have been influenced in the celebrity in the industry by this movie, which I found amazing. And then hip hop stars even referenced the original movie in the Old Dirty Bastard, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. It's just going to show you how great and classic this movie really was. And black exploitation films, I personally love them. I think they're the funniest, greatest movies ever. And I was telling Tom earlier that, ironically, I wouldn't have watched Dolemite if we weren't doing this review. I wouldn't have watched it so quickly. I would have watched it, but not for a while. Because you see the name Dolemite, and I wasn't familiar with him before this movie, but now that I am, obviously, I'm definitely gonna watch the original movie. And I wish I could have watched it on the original VHS format because in the original VHS format, the boom mic is visible during the scenes. And if you don't know what a boom mic is,
It's
it's a
awesome.
boom mic that they put over the scene so you can hear what the actors and actresses are saying. It's this big, huge microphone, and it absorbs the sound. Well, you usually have those out of scene, obviously. And this boom mic was actually in the filming of the movie, which I think is amazing. There's nothing more fun than watching a film, seeing mistakes like that, and be like, "That's fucking awesome. That
Yeah,
is really cool."
that's really cool. So, real quick, Star is Born is loosely based on the 37 film, and then there was 54 musical and 76 with but major differences within the fit. That's what I was getting at. I thought it was more different than that. But yeah, it's loosely based on it. But
Not to bet you want to base it on the actual great movie.
and it was up for 9 Academy Awards. So I don't know what you're talking about. Not being a good film.
Academy Awards is a joke. It's rich white people.
I agree. I agree with that. I 100% agree that they've become a joke, but it's one of the best films of the year. I don't know what you're smoking down there.
Nothing good at all, Tom.
It was a great film, and anybody that's a movie buff and that watches us will watch that film.
No, anybody who's a musical buff will watch it.
No. It's not like a musical. It's a movie about music.
Movie?
I mean, is The Dirt a musical?
What's that?
Is The Dirt a musical?
Yes.
No, get out of here. Now Roy's just being difficult to be difficult. He like, as you guys know, you've seen how many episodes? 37 episodes. Roy likes to be difficult sometimes. So
all the time, Tom. Come on. Keep my streak going.
But anyway, back to what you were saying. Yeah, dude. I mean, the amount of references in pop culture to Dolemite, it's amazing. Within rap, I mean, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, all these guys. You know, he's so influential within the Black and African American community, in all communities. But I'm saying within there, yeah. I mean, he's Dolemite's referenced everywhere. And yeah, really cool. So just kind of interesting little thing. Oh, I forgot to throw this in. When you were talking about the original Dolemite movie, it actually grossed $12 million at the box office. That's amazing for that time. That genre, blaxploitation, which I'm a fan of, but I mean, it has that name because it's. There was problems with that genre of film. There was a lot of problems, and but for to gross 12 million and then to be able, I mean, he after this, because of their success, he was able to go on and make 7 more films, and have two sequels and a third loose sequel on it. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I mean the way that they put this movie together and funded it themselves, which you see in the movie. It's just really cool. You know what I mean? At a time where that wasn't done, they did it. You know,
for our movie, Tom.
What's that?
We do that for our movie.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Script for that, actually, we really should.
Yes,
nowadays. Possible podcast, work on a movie script.
Yes. I am down for that. I wanted to make a movie for 30 years almost. And now I'm showing my age, but yes, I've wanted to do a film for a long, make my own film for a long time. So
we'll talk after the episode and start planning stuff out before you.
Yeah. And other interesting little, well, not interesting. Interesting. This is Eddie Murphy's first R-rated film since 1999 when he did that movie Life. So it's been 20 years since Eddie Murphy was in an R-rated film, which seems crazy for me, because growing up, we saw Eddie Murphy raw and delirious, and they were just so raunchy and so funny, and just I mean, he just pushed the envelopes, and
Cosby
then,
called him disgusting.
what's that?
Bill Cosby called him disgusting.
Yeah, well, and look at fucking Bill Cosby now. I mean, if that ain't the teapot in the kettle, you know, I mean, if like a rapist calling a guy who swears on stage disgusting. Come on, man. Bill Cosby, that guy's scum.
It's crazy.
But yeah, just funny because, but then if you know anything about Eddie Murphy's career, he went through that Dr. Dolittle sort of, family friendly phase, and it lasted a good 20 years. You know what I mean? He didn't do an R-rated film. And I think I mentioned it, but I'll mention it again before we get into the review proper here, is that he dedicated it to his brother, Charlie Murphy, and who had passed in 2017. So anyway, now into the actual review. Dolemite is my name. It's essentially the story of Rudy Ray Moore, Dolemite. And what I like about this is it's sort of the new trend in biopics, is that it's about their life, you know what I mean? And, it follows their life. But now most biopics sort of pick one major important thing within their life. They focus on that, and then they kind of fill in the rest around it. And you get a little here in the beginning, a little in the middle, a little at the end, and then you'll usually get at the end, they kind of on the screen, you'll see in text, they give you, what's happened to that person, other little facts about it, like the fact that he made 7 other movies and stuff. So, and, when they passed away, if they passed, or if they're still alive and stuff. And this is the same as those, that it's about his whole life, sort of, but it really focuses on his sort of transformation into the Dolemite character, and then getting the first Dolemite movie made, and then everything else is just kind of surrounds it. So, excuse me. So we get introduced to Rudy Ray Moore, played by Eddie Murphy. He is, works at a little theater. He's an MC, and he's had a couple of 1 or 2 albums that he's sort of self-produced, put out there. But he's just a struggling guy who has bigger aspirations. And he's also, works and helps out at a record store, and they have this homeless guy, they call him a hobo or whatever, and that comes in, and he sits down with this guy to start hearing his stories, because he wants to start to make a change. He's sick of it. He wants to become big. He wants to make a change. So he sits down with this homeless man, and this homeless man just kind of regales him with all these stories, and of being pimps, and all this stuff. So Rudy Ray Moore then takes these stories, takes all these experiences and stories that he's got from these people, and he creates his stage personas, his characters. He gets into comedy now, and he creates the persona of Dolemite and these stories, and it's met with resistance, but he presses on. He just forces his way in, forces these stories on into his shows, onto the audience, and it just resonates. It just resonates with his audience, which is primarily African-American Black at that time, because even though we're in sort of post this post civil rights, it's still, I mean, to this day, there's still inequalities and stuff. So, it's still the United States is still very, very much segregated. You have your blacks and you have your whites, and but it just really resonates. He creates the character Dolemite and a pimp, and it just catches on and and he becomes the biggest thing. And then he decides he wants to get into film. And I don't want to give away too much because I really think that people should go out and watch this. It's on Netflix. You should check it out. It's a great film. It's a great piece of history. It's enjoyable, and it's educational, and it's just interesting. And we sort of, we see him, how he he decides that he wants to make a film. He wants to get into films. He wants to become famous. He wants to become rich. He doesn't want to be a hustler anymore, and we just see, that's what this movie's about. We just see him interacting with, meeting people and convincing these people, some of them very, very established within theater, like Keegan, like Jerry Jones of played by Keegan Michael Key. He's very established within the theater. And we have Wesley Snipes as Jerville Martin, who's very established within the movies, and how he gets all these people on board to help, essentially self-produce, self-make this movie. I mean, they have some backing, they have some people, but as you see in the movie, there's some financial stuff, and it almost ruins him. And I'm not going to get into how or what, but you got to watch it. But it's just really interesting how he interacts and how he wins these people over to eventually get this film made. And it's just sort of this. I love it because it's put in this, in the blaxploitation sort of film genre and stuff. But really, this film is sort of it's like a rags to riches, or the old Horatio Alger story. You know what I mean? The American dream. And that's it. I mean, like I said, I don't want to give away too much here. I mean, that's the crux of it. Anything you want to bring up as far as that? I mean, obviously, we're going to talk more about the movie, but that you think I should have mentioned, Roy? Because, like I said, I don't want to ruin anything. But
no, I just think that if you just look at movies that you have to see it, because like we want to be careful not to give stuff away, because it's one of those movies that you gotta see it for yourself.
Yeah.
We're just trying to give you like an overview of the movie because it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I would have never seen it if you hadn't suggested it, and I would have missed out. I would have watched it eventually.
Yeah.
I would have regretted it because this is such a great movie.
Yeah, and it's funny. I only picked it because last week we've pivoted to the movie review now, because you guys that have watched us for a while know that we are the Geek Perspective, and we focus on Comic-Cons and just pretty much geeky stuff, all stuff geek, you know what I mean? Because we're all into that stuff. We're all a bunch of geeks here. And then we sort of pivoted to become a little more niche, and it was funny. We did our review, and part of the new thing is that we want, which we didn't talk about next week. Oh, yes, we did. We know what next week's movie is. So we want to, let you know what movie we're reviewing the following week, so that if you're so inclined, you watch it. You go out and watch it ahead of time, and then you come in and as you're watching us, you can interact with us. You know what I mean? So Roy was Derek didn't come. It was sort of a last minute thing last week. So Roy just said to me over the private chat, pick a movie now. And I got all nervous. So I opened up Netflix because I was super nervous. And it was the third movie I saw. I said it. And a guy at work had been talking about it. And I asked Roy. He was down for seeing it. And the rest is history on that. You know what I mean? It was sort of a knee-jerk reaction to Roy, and I'm so glad it was, man. It was such a good film.
Sometimes, we overthink things sometimes, where it's like a random pick of a movie could be the greatest movie of all.
Yeah. Yeah, and this turned out to be a really good one. This was fantastic. It was a great film.
Is that TV on in the background up there?
Yes, yes, it is. I don't know how to turn it off. Is it this remote right here?
Nope.
Okay.
It should be a big long mic.
Oh, okay, I see it. Hang on.
Just so everyone knows.
This one?
Yes. Yep.
And it's the red button?
Yeah, that works too. Just hit the red button. That's fine. My house is haunted. I live in an actual haunted house. And, I kept hearing voices, so I'm like, are the spirits like really active for some reason? Really, voices of spirits, and it's been going on for a while. And I realized that Tom's over my house.
Yeah,
he's shooting upstairs, and I'm shooting downstairs. Various reasons, we won't get into it, but I kept hearing voices, and I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, this is the best evidence I've ever gotten in my life. Wait a minute. I think the TV's on. I was watching college football when Tom came over.
Yep.
How about that? Go ahead, Tom.
So, all right. Out of 10, what would you give it?
I would give it 8.5.
Nice.
But it was that good.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going 9, dude. I'm giving it a 9, a real solid 9.
This is horrible, and I mean that in a good way. We're picking, in my opinion, really good movies to watch.
Yeah,
that really good movies that people, if you like us, you're probably going to like this movie. I mean, I want to review something that's so horrible that I can slam into it, and we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, we talked about that sort of because we we obviously talk all week, and you talked about how you're fine with that, and I jumped in. I said I really like reviewing movies that I don't like. Now I'm not talking anime because I don't like those for a different reason, and it's not because they're super bad. It's a personal thing. But like really bad movies, I like that. I like talking about really bad movies. I like reviewing stuff that I don't like. I think it's interesting, and it brings a different sort of element and perspective. And I'm
watching movies.
What's that?
I like watching bad movies.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let me ask you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh, jeez.
You have one.
Oh man. All right, I need a minute. How about you? What's your favorite scene? Give me a minute to think about it.
Opening scene with Eddie Murphy and Snoop Dogg in the record store, because a lot of times you watch a movie and it starts off strange or like just drags. This hopped right into the comedy right away.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Eddie Murphy, their characters and their rapport just clicked right away, and that set the whole movie off. And to me, the movie started off at a high level and it stayed there. Like there was no drop off. It was like, holy Jesus.
Yeah, it did. That's really good. That's a good point. The pacing was excellent.
Yeah.
And all right. So one of my, it's tough to not. I'm gonna pick one because I have a lot of things. But one thing I really liked, and then you get to see it at the end when they start showing the real clips, is when Eddie Murphy. They're making the film, and the first time he says "drive" and word "drive," and later, because it's one of his most iconic Dolemite, and just Eddie Murphy doing his Rudy Ray Moore voice, and just it had me right. I love that "drive and word drive."
It was so accurate to the original movie too, which I found amazing.
Yes.
When they show both clips, I'm like, I have to watch this other movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm going to watch this other movie.
Yeah, I might rent it tonight. Actually, when I go home, I may just.
What did you think of Wesley Snipes acting in the movie?
I thought it was really good, honestly. And I'm going to say this, and I mean this with all due respect. I don't think he's a great actor
No,
Like he's good in movies. He's good at action and stuff.
no, good action star is what he is.
And I mean, he was great in White Men Can't Jump. You know what I mean? And growing up, that was one of my favorites because I was big into basketball, and I'm a big Woody Harrelson fan too. And I thought he was excellent. And but I'm not. It's not a knock on him. He's just not known for his sort of serious acting chops, and he's fine. You know, that's how I feel about it. In all other movies, he's fine. He's not bad. He doesn't take away from any of his other movies, but he doesn't stand out in any of his other movies. You know,
Yeah, I thought he did really well in this movie.
I thought he was great.
Acting jobs in any of his movies.
Yeah,
he was funny. He was hilarious.
And,
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, and he was funny in just it wasn't him playing comedy. He was playing the character accurately, you know, because D'Urville, the real guy, took himself very, like I say, he bragged about being in a Roman Polanski film when he was just the elevator. That's just an extra. That's all that is, you know. I mean, I've been in films like that. Like I was in the Noonie G Story. And you know, Kanye West and Common, the rappers, narrated it and produced it. I met them and everything like that. But my part got cut down to 10 seconds where I get shot in the head and die and stuff. And so I'm an extra, you know what I mean? I'm not in you know what I mean? I don't go around saying I'm in a Kanye West Common film. You know what I mean? I just, I'm an extra in it. So, what's that?
You get us more views.
Yeah, you know, but it just, yeah. So he's just, he's
impressed me. He impressed me.
Yeah, he did, man. It was everybody. I thought everybody's good. I thought Snoop Dogg was good. The only one I don't, because I'm not really familiar with T.I. or anything. I don't remember who he was in the movie.
I remember seeing him in the movie. He wasn't there long.
No, I know he was. I'm thinking he was probably like sort of part of the entourage that was making the movie and stuff, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not familiar with T.I. So,
do you have a favorite quote from the movie?
Well, it would go back to that line that I just said, that when he does it, drive, and then we're drive. I just love that.
That was
what about you?
Mine was from Wesley Snipes when he said, "Black people absorb the light, reflect the light magically." Really, and that was so funny. I'm like, that's kind of true.
It's true. Scientifically, it is accurate.
Wow. But I laughed. I laughed out loud. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was great. It was, guys. I mean, the more we talk about it, go check this film out. Really, go check it out. It is so much fun.
If for another reason, like historically, like black exploitation films in the 70s, they were a specific genre, and this film actually shows clips at the very end. I loved it when they showed actual clips from the real movie, so you can compare them. And this film was very accurate, which doesn't happen a lot in films because various reasons. You know, sometimes it's not that easy to do it, but obviously Eddie Murphy wanted to be as accurate as possible, and it showed. And give him credit for that because I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. This was, you said I gave it a 9. Top to bottom, that's a solid 9. I don't go much high. I went a little higher with The Irishman, which real quick on that, we were talking about, and I had said, if people, when you watch it, let me know what you think about the Peggy character. And then I got to you on text afterwards that I think I finally figured it out, that Peggy is the physical manifestation of Frank Sheeran. It's his daughter, the physical manifestation of his morality, his moral compass. And, it's like a metaphor. It's a very in-your-face metaphor because a whole character is dedicated to it. But I believe that was the intention behind the Peggy. That's why she gives all those disapproving looks, why she loves Jimmy Hoffa but doesn't like Russell Buffalino. and stuff. So anyway, that's my ADD kicking in, guys. I thought about that after the movie review for hours and hours and hours, and I finally came up with it. So yeah. Anyway, back to Dolemite. Yeah, guys, check it out. Check it out. You got anything else on this?
Nope.
I got one more piece of news I just want to bring up. And it's off subject, but we like to bring you guys news. The first Toys R Us just opened back up in the United States. They closed down earlier this year. The first one just opened up today in Houston, which is very cool. Me and Roy were talking off camera. I'm a big fan of brick and mortars coming back. I mean, yes, I'm a fan of Amazon and stuff like that, but I don't want to see brick and mortars go away completely. You know, so because they employ a lot of people, they're good for the economy and everything like that. So the first one just opened back up, and because they're only in Canada right now, and then maybe some other countries, but mainly Canada. So yeah, so really cool. We're gonna see some Toys R Us come. It was in a mall, so I think they're going to smaller locations and stuff. You won't see as these giant warehouses and stuff, but thought that was really cool. See Toys R Us opening up again. So, but anyway, I think that's it for this week. Unless you got anything else, Roy.
Well, we got a movie review next week.
Yeah, yeah. Let them know.
It'll be another great movie called Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back.
Woo! My favorite. It's not my favorite film, but my favorite of the Star Wars that I've seen so far. I think it's the best, personally.
And I'm looking it up. Rhode Island Comic Con has made an announcement already on guests.
No way, dude! It was just a month ago.
Yeah, they already announced their first guest. I don't know if it's on the website yet. I'm going there now. So, what are you looking forward to Star Wars?
What's that?
What are you looking forward to seeing in Star Wars?
I'm just looking forward to rewatching Empire, man, because it's been a while since I watched it. Like I said, it's of the ones that I've seen, which granted is not a lot, but of the ones that I've seen, it's my favorite. I think it's a great film. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun talking about it.
It's my favorite out of the bunch. And yes, the first announcement has been made for Rhode Island Comic Con in 2020. Will Wheaton.
Oh, Will Wheaton.
Inspiration and Big Bang Theory.
Nice.
So
nice. That's cool.
Big Bad Will. He's coming to Comic Con in 2020. So that'd be cool. And actually, Derek had told me about this when we were at work, that he was announced, and he was like, "Can you imagine if Tom got him as?" I'm like, "No." Can you imagine if Tom got the anime room again? That would be. That would be. And I was like, "Yeah, Tom wouldn't think it was very hilarious. We would, but he would."
Yeah, I might have to not work it if I got stuck in the anime room again. I may have to just tap out. Oh God!
And like, so people understand it. They don't want people with people they want them to want to be with, because
they don't want
story, and they don't want people to be disappointed in their celebrity, whatever. But it does help to a certain degree to know who you're with, because people will ask you questions.
Yes,
and you can't answer the questions if you don't know about the celebrity. So
yeah,
I understand that part, but
yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, I always said you should have a passing familiarity. And granted, there's been a couple years that I've had no familiarity. I was with a guy, one of the actors from Deadpool, and I hadn't seen Deadpool, and I had to fake it through the whole weekend that I had seen Deadpool. I mean, granted, Deadpool was a big enough movie where I was at least familiar enough with it to do it. And then there was the year I was with that younger, I can never remember the show. Oh, The Gifted. Who was in The Gifted. I knew nothing of her, or come to find out she was in, and I remembered it afterwards from the Aquarius, the Charlie Manson television show starring David Duchovny. But yeah, I had no familiarity with them. But those were easier to fake it with. The anime, I just knew nothing about, and it made for a tough weekend. Not just like that I was bored and stuff, but the fact that I just knew nothing about it. Nothing. So a passing familiarity is good, in my opinion.
I didn't have that problem.
So, yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's going to be the show for today, everybody. Like and subscribe. Click that little bell so you get informed when we go live and release new content. Make sure to comment on this video, letting us know, are you going to watch Dolemite? Are you going to watch the original Dolemite? What did you think of Dolemite?
Yeah.
Let us know.
What do you think of us?
What do you think of us? You love us.
Yeah.
We can kill you.
Yeah. What do you now? When I say us, I mean me and Roy, and then tell us what you really think about Derek.
Yes. Lie about us. It went great, but say Derek's horrible.
Yes. Just kidding, Derek. We like you, sort of.
I'm not. So, everyone, thanks for watching. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Comment on the video, please. For Tom and myself, have a geeky, great day.
Thanks, guys.